Hi, this is Yaffi Lvova, registered dietitian nutritionist with Baby Bloom Nutrition, and welcome to Nap Time Nutrition every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Arizona time, which is currently 3 o'clock Arizona time, GMT -7. And today's topic was suggested by a listener, and it's evaluating signs of malnutrition. So I'm going to simplify that and say, is my child eating enough? And really, I'm going to throw a twist on it because I'm going to switch over to, is my mommy eating enough? Because I think that is often more of the risk, especially in the United States. So first, I want to talk about the point of feeding your child. Of course, it's for nutrition, but it's to create a healthy relationship with food, especially during the first year of life. A lot of people say before the first year, eating is just for practice. Well, it's not. It is and it isn't. So the major source of nutrition, generally in the first 10 months for sure, is breast milk or formula. And food is an activity, but it also helps to strengthen those muscles that are going to be used for speaking later on and for introducing different flavors and different textures and colors. It really has a lot of purpose. Nutrition is not the top priority in the first 10 months as far as solid food is concerned, but it becomes somewhere between 10 and 12 months your child switches to more nutrition from solid food. So the point is to create a healthy relationship with food so that throughout their lives they know when to eat. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. A lot of things that we have kind of deprogrammed ourselves on as adults. So a really big reason why I love baby-led weaning, aside from the name, a side note here, weaning in British English is food introduction. Weaning in American English is the cessation of breastfeeding. So when you talk about baby-led weaning, it's actually a British term, which means food introduction. So what I love about baby-led weaning is that the child gets to determine when to eat, how much to eat from the food that's in front of them and when to stop. And that helps them to create a healthy relationship with food, but that also helps them to kind of play with their own body cues. And if I have one more bite, how does that make me feel? And am I truly full at this point? A serving size for a child is the size of their fist. A lot of people don't know that, and when we plate foods for our children, which is a whole other issue, we tend to plate as much as we would want to eat. And we have no idea how much they're growing that day, or maybe they're coming down with a cold, or there are a million things that could affect their appetite. We don't really know how much they need to eat. So by putting a more family integrated approach, such as eating from bigger dishes, family style, and the child can choose what they want and eat as much of that as they want, that's really going to help to create a healthy relationship with food, and they're more likely going to have the serving sizes that their body needs for that day. When you feed a child like that, it is more likely that they are not going to experience malnutrition. But I will talk about signs and symptoms anyway, because I know that as mothers, we're really concerned about what our children are eating and if they are eating enough. So first, if you're very concerned, I'm going to direct you to my nap time nutrition that I did on growth charts. I'm going to go over that briefly right now, but I did a longer one on understanding and interpreting growth charts. So if you have concern, watch that one and then come back to this. The first way to evaluate your child's nutrition is growth. They should follow their own curve on the growth chart, meaning if they were born at the 50th percentile, they should stay around the 50th. It's not like school where 90th percentile is better than 10th percentile. It's just about maintaining your own curve and realizing that 50 means average. It's not good or bad. It means that's the average in the country. So if your child started on the 10th and maintains their curve on the 10th, that's perfectly healthy. Slowed weight gain is short-term malnutrition. So if there is a problem with your child's nutrition, it's going to show with weight first before height. If there's a long-term problem, then height will be affected. So keep that in mind. We have different growth charts we're looking at, and the first sign of a problem is slowed weight growth. And I want to say that with a huge asterisk next to it, because it is normal for a child to slow down their weight gain. That's why it's a growth curve, not a growth line or a growth rocket ship. The curve goes up and then levels off because they're not going to Junk call there. Okay, they're not going to maintain the rate of growth that they started with when they were infants. They grow a lot at the very beginning, and then it starts to level off and they grow a lot less. And this has a lot of parents concerned, but it is normal. If you feel like it's not normal, discuss it with your pediatrician and they will help guide you. Another sign of malnutrition is not hitting milestones when they should. So at 1 month, they should start lifting the head briefly. They should respond to faces, but not necessarily recognize faces. That doesn't really come until the 2nd month. They'll start to recognize faces that are around them really often. They should blink at bright lights, bring their hands to their face. 2 months, start recognizing parents' faces. 3 months, lifting head 45 degrees, grabbing and shaking toys. A big one is at 5 months, they should double their birth weight. But there are a lot of different milestones to look at, and there are huge ranges of what's normal for each one. So it's really important to discuss this with your pediatrician, because this that I'm giving you is very brief and it's very black and white, and growth and milestones are not black and white, and it's very multifaceted. So let's switch over to the mom. There's a huge risk that the mom is malnourished, not as much the child, because what happens is that when you have one child, you didn't have a child before, and now you have a child, and you have to focus all of your energy on feeding that child. And often, the mother is going to forget to eat and forget to drink. I'm a really big advocate of snack stations around the house, much like diaper stations, so that you have that visual cue of, I need to eat now, I need to drink something now. And I even had one mom who actually had disposable water bottles and wrote times on top of each cap to make sure that she was drinking enough water. A breastfeeding mother needs about 13 cups of water a day, which is above the 8, which is the standard recommendation. Other things you want to look for is loss of fat and loss of muscle mass. So a lot of women, after they have a baby, they want to lose weight, but you want to make sure that you're losing weight appropriately, and that can mean something very different for each person, especially if a woman is breastfeeding. There's a lot of interplay with hormones there. So keep that in mind. If you're losing muscle mass, that's a big sign that something's wrong. Increased respiratory rate, depression, fatigue, and irritability, which are difficult to assess because you're a new mom. You're going to be tired. You probably are going to be irritated, especially when you can't take a shower after trying 3 times every day. Slow wound healing, susceptibility to colds, skin thinning, hair loss. So some hair loss is normal, but if you feel like it's above and beyond, you need to discuss that with your doctor. If your nails are changing shape, that's a big sign that you're missing some nutrition. If you feel like you're cold all the time or you have a decreased sex drive. Well, the sex drive thing is another one that's really difficult to assess when you're a new mom. So you have to remember to take care of yourself, have visual cues to remind yourself to eat and drink, and eat when the baby eats. Everyone says sleep when the baby sleeps, and that advice, as we know, sleep when the baby sleeps. Vacuum when the baby vacuums. Do your dishes when the baby does the dishes. Yeah, right, but you can eat when the baby eats, that's for sure, and that's what you really need to do. So this topic was suggested by a listener. I look forward to topic suggestions from my listeners out there, and please put them in the comments below. I'm really always looking for something new. And this is Yaffi Lvova, registered dietitian nutritionist. Please follow me on Facebook right here. We do nap time nutrition every Tuesday at 1. Next week will be no exception, but I do not know what the topic is, so you should comment. And you should follow me on Pinterest, pinterest.com/Yaffi, Yaffi, and I'm on Instagram, babybloomnutr. If you're looking for a great holiday gift for someone who's concerned about their nutrition or the nutrition of their child, I do individual counseling and small group counseling. Check out my website at babybloomnutrition.com. Happy holidays and see you next week.